Hey guys, it's Mike here with a Logic video for you, and today I'm going to show you how to drum replace. Okay, so here I have a multi-track of a live drum kit that was recorded, and for those of you who are wondering how I coloured these in to make them red as opposed to the default blue, I just hit Alt and C inside Logic and it brings up the colour palette like so, and selected the tracks one by one and coloured them in. Nice touch. Okay, so on to the drum replacement dealie. Now, um, this multi-track here was recorded in a school by a friend of mine, which means they didn't have the best recording space, so it sounds pretty live. And just to give you an idea, I'll just play a couple of seconds. Sorry if there's a lag with the screen capture software here. Yep, so as you can hear, very live indeed. And so what sometimes producer people do to combat this, if the drummer, say, had a really great feel to him, like he was a really great drummer, but because of the environment he was in, he didn't have the best sound, then they go through and they may have extensive sound libraries and they just replace basically everything that he's played with MIDI sounds. And this is how he would do it if he was using Logic. So first of all, let's mute all these guys out just by clicking the M button, and I like to just drag down here. And we'll start at the top of the bass drum track, or the kick as I put here. And what we need to do is select the track on the left, so it's grey. Go to track, drum replacement and doubling. And what this will try to do now is it's going to analyse this kick track and it's going to detect all the transients. That's the audio within the track. And every time it thinks it hears a kick, it's going to replicate it with a MIDI note. So, yep, that's all fine. It's going to come up with this dialog box here that says kick, that's the trigger note, that's all fine. So we'll hit enter, I'll press OK. And you see it's muted out this one now as well. So what we've got now is so you see it's a lot of a cleaner sound, even though you've still got, unfortunately, a little bit of that guitar in the background. But hey, that's the live recording business, right? So here we go. Let's change it to that for argument's sake. So you just that it's as easy as that, right? You get a really clean kick sound. And the good thing about this, the really cool thing, is you can go up to the left here and quantize. So you can, I think that you'll find that he's playing eighth notes with his feet there. So you can just go eighth notes. It's doubled it up a little bit, but you can see my point. One last point that I would like to mention though on this for you today, guys, and that is that I would not drum replace for overheads. There is just too much information, too much sound under the overhead mics, and it just does not work. The best thing to do is keep it to either individual samples or the bass and snare drum, as they tend to be isolated. But in order to get a good overhead sound, what I tend to do is use the presets that Logic has built into it. It just works better that way. So there we have it, there's drum replacing. Any questions, comments or ideas, please feel free to give me a private message. Cheers. One last point that I would like to mention though on this for you today, guys, and that is that I would not drum replace for overheads. There is just too much information, too much sound under the overhead mics, and it just does not work. The best thing to do is keep it to either individual samples or the bass and snare drum, as they tend to be isolated. But in order to get a good overhead sound, what I tend to do is use the presets that Logic has built into it. It just works better that way.